What if it's not possible? Let's reflect on something together, something important. No one is ever truly too busy. What we're really talking about here is priorities, and that's a truth we sometimes overlook. People often claim they're swamped, that life is pulling them in all directions. But when you truly care about something, or someone, you'll find the time, no matter how packed your schedule may seem. It's not about having extra hours in the day, it's about how you choose to spend those hours. What you prioritize reveals where your heart is. So, when you find yourself on the receiving end of someone's inattention, understand that it's not because they're drowning in tasks, they're simply choosing to invest their time elsewhere. It may sound harsh, but recognizing this allows you to set your expectations in the right places. When something or someone brings you joy, it's tempting to share it with the world. But there's power in keeping certain things quiet and holding onto your happiness without broadcasting it. You see, not everyone will share in your joy the way you do. Some people may project their insecurities, envy, or doubts onto what should be a pure moment of happiness for you. When you keep your joy protected, it grows undisturbed, nurtured by your own contentment. It's not about secrecy, it's about guarding what brings you peace and fulfillment. Sometimes, silence is the best way to honor the good things in your life. Trust. It's a delicate, intricate thing, isn't it? We give it so easily at times, but once it's broken, it's almost impossible to restore. That's why we must be careful about where we place our trust. Have you ever thought about how salt and sugar look almost identical? Yet, they serve vastly different purposes. Some people in your life might appear kind and genuine, but they may not have your best interests at heart. Just because someone seems supportive doesn't mean their intentions align with your well-being. Discerning who is truly worthy of your trust is a skill that takes time to develop, but once you have it, it can save you from countless heartaches and disappointments. It's natural to lean on others from time to time, but be mindful of relying too heavily on anyone. Even your shadow, something that is always by your side, disappears when you're in the dark. That's a powerful metaphor for life. In your darkest moments, you may find yourself standing alone, and while that may seem terrifying, it's actually a call for you to find strength within yourself. There's a beauty in self-reliance, in knowing that you can face life's storms without always needing someone else to hold the umbrella. People can be a source of support, yes, but they cannot carry the full weight of your burdens. Ultimately, you must be your own foundation. Let's not forget that some of the best moments of your life haven't happened yet. Think about that for a second. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that the pinnacle of your happiness is behind you, that you've already experienced the height of joy, success, or love. But life isn't finished with you. The future holds treasures you haven't even imagined yet. There are moments ahead that will fill you with a happiness so profound that it will make your past struggles seem like distant memories. Don't close yourself off to the possibilities that are still waiting for you. The best chapters of your story are yet to be written. Bad habits, they're sneaky, aren't they? Like a soft bed on a cold morning, they're so easy to fall into but incredibly difficult to get out of. They bring temporary comfort, but over time, they stifle your growth and potential. We all have habits that we know are holding us back, whether it's procrastination, negative thinking, or indulging in things we know aren't good for us. The key is recognizing when comfort has turned into complacency. It's not easy to break free, but it's possible. Every day is a new opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and leave behind the things that no longer serve you. Time has a way of revealing the truth. Over time, people's true intentions, their real feelings, and even your own worth will come to light. You don't need to rush to prove yourself to anyone. Let time work in your favor. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is be patient and consistent. Eventually, people will recognize your value, and those who didn't appreciate you before will come to understand what they missed. You see, time is the ultimate revealer, and while people may not see your worth immediately, they will in due course. Remaining calm in the face of adversity is a trait that cannot be overstated. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect it. But take a moment to reflect on all the times you've faced hardship before, moments where you thought you wouldn't make it through. Yet, here you are. You've overcome obstacles, endured pain, and emerged stronger for it. So when another storm comes your way, remind yourself of your resilience. You've been through tough times before, and you'll make it through again. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to trust that you'll find your way. Healing is a deeply personal process, one that doesn't always need to be shared with the world. In fact, some of the most profound healing happens in silence, away from the eyes of others. There's a tendency to want to vent, to share every hurt, every frustration with those around us. But not everyone needs to know your wounds. Sometimes, the best way to heal is to sit with your pain, process it, and move forward without seeking validation from others. The quiet moments, the times when you face your emotions alone, are often the most transformative. You will always be judged, no matter what you do. That's just a fact of life. But instead of bending yourself to fit the opinions of others, focus on being the person you truly want to be. It's tempting to seek approval, to change aspects of yourself to gain acceptance. But the truth is, you'll never be able to please everyone. So why not please yourself? Live in a way that aligns with your values, with who you are at your core. When you are true to yourself, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You become untouchable in your authenticity. Let's go back to the idea of habits for a moment. These behaviors, both good and bad, shape the course of your life more than you might realize. The small, seemingly insignificant choices you make each day form the foundation of your future. So, take a close look at your habits. Are they pushing you forward, or are they holding you back? Change is never easy, but it's always within reach. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself, to step out of your comfort zone, and to create new habits that serve your highest potential. The people you allow into your life will either lift you up or pull you down. It's crucial to surround yourself with individuals who support your growth, not those who hinder it. Remember, salt and sugar look alike, but they have vastly different effects. Not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests in mind. It's okay to be selective with your trust. In fact, it's necessary. Protect your energy and invest your time in relationships that bring value to your life, not those that drain you. Self-reliance is a form of freedom. While it's natural to lean on others, you mustn't become dependent. Even your shadow leaves you when you find yourself in darkness. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own happiness, your own success, and your own survival. People will come and go, but you remain. Cultivate inner strength, the kind that doesn't waver when life becomes uncertain. When you rely on yourself, you become unshakable. The future is a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint your masterpiece. Some of the best experiences of your life haven't happened yet. That's a thought worth holding on to. Too often, we cling to the past, believing that our best days are behind us. But life is full of surprises. The moments that will take your breath away, the achievements that will fill you with pride, the love that will fill your heart, they're all still out there, waiting for you. Don't limit yourself to what has been. Embrace the unknown, for it holds endless possibilities. Now, imagine this: you're working hard every day, but you aren't seeing the results you want. It feels like you're stuck in a loop, right? Well, striving for success without the effort, without the sweat, is like trying to harvest from land where you never planted anything. Can you picture that? Standing in a field, expecting crops to grow without planting seeds. It's an illusion. Success demands a foundation, and that foundation is built through persistence, action, and discipline. Now, let's talk about the people in your life. You might think that holding on to certain relationships is keeping you grounded, but have you ever considered how clinging to the wrong people can block your path? If you're still entertaining the wrong influences, you'll never open the door for the right ones to step in. It's like holding onto a closed door and wondering why new opportunities don't come your way. You must let go, release the grip on what doesn't serve you. Only then will the space be cleared for those who will truly elevate your life. The mind, it's a battlefield, isn't it? If you don't take charge of it, someone else surely will. Whether it's through the media, societal expectations, or the opinions of others, your mind is constantly being pulled in different directions. But here's the key: control your thoughts, or they will control you. And once you give up that control, you risk becoming a puppet to someone else's ideas, their vision of success, their version of who you should be. Don't let your mind become someone else's playground. And let's not shy away from failure. People are so afraid of falling down that they forget how essential it is to growth. If you aren't falling down occasionally, you're just coasting, you're on autopilot. And when you're on autopilot, you aren't really living. At first, failure stings. It can feel like the world is collapsing around you. But here's the paradox: that pain, that discomfort, eventually becomes your greatest strength. It teaches you resilience, sharpens your abilities, and builds character. Each fall is a lesson waiting to be embraced. When it comes to work, many of us get trapped in the cycle of working solely for a paycheck, but have you ever considered that working on yourself is the real fortune? The job makes you a living, sure, but self-development is what brings the wealth of a fulfilling life. Your personal growth, your skills, your mindset, these are the true riches. So, ask yourself, are you just clocking in and out every day, or are you investing in the person you're becoming? There will always be people who fail to see your worth. It's a sad reality, but it's inevitable. Now, here's the dangerous part: if you start to listen to those voices, if you start doubting yourself, you could easily become one of those people who don't see your own value. Don't let that person be you. Your self-worth is not up for debate, and it certainly shouldn't be diminished by external opinions. Know your worth, because if you don't, the world will define it for you, and trust us, the world's price tag for you will always be lower than your true value. Think about this: do what no one else can do, and you'll become what no one else can become. That's a powerful statement, isn't it? You see, we all have unique abilities, talents, and perspectives that no one else can replicate. If you focus on cultivating what's uniquely yours, you'll find yourself standing in places no one else can reach. Don't follow the crowd. Carve out your own path, even if it feels daunting. You weren't meant to blend in, you were meant to stand out. Now, reflect for a moment. 5 years ago, you had dreams, didn't you? You imagined a future where you'd be more successful, happier, or more fulfilled. And now, look where you are. You've achieved things that once seemed distant. Sometimes, we get so caught up in the grind that we forget to appreciate how far we've come. The fact that you're here, reading this, is proof that you've grown. Celebrate that. Recognize that you are living in a reality you once only dreamed about. In life, you'll face moments where it seems like the whole world is against you. The key is not to crumble under that pressure. When people doubt you, when challenges arise, remember this: your resilience is your greatest weapon. You are built to give up easily. Strength comes from the adversity you've faced, and it's only through those struggles that you'll become the person you're meant to be. Don't shy away from hard work, from facing fears, from taking risks. These are the seeds you plant for the future you desire. But let's not romanticize the journey either. It will be painful at times. There will be days when you feel like giving up. That's when you must remind yourself, the discomfort you feel is temporary. Growth, however, is permanent. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. And while others might not see the work you're putting in behind the scenes, you know it's there. You know that each effort is a deposit in the bank of your future success. Remember this: you are your own best investment. The time you spend developing your skills, your mindset, your emotional strength, it's all compounding. One day, you'll look back and realize that the person you've become is worth far more than any external validation. You'll see that the internal work you did on yourself is what led to the external rewards. So don't be afraid to prioritize yourself. And while you're on this journey, you must be prepared to let go of the fear of judgment. People will always have opinions, but those opinions don't define you. What defines you is how you respond to life's challenges, how you navigate the storms, and how you rise after each fall. Don't let the noise of others drown out your inner voice. Trust in your path, trust in your process. If you want a different life, you must make different choices. That's something we can't stress enough. The decisions you make today, no matter how small, are shaping your future. If you want success, if you want fulfillment, you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and take risks that others won't. Success isn't reserved for the lucky, it's reserved for the persistent. The journey is yours alone. You can have mentors, you can have supporters, but at the end of the day, it's your steps that lead to the destination. Own your journey. Be proud of the path you're on. No one else can walk it for you, and that's what makes it so uniquely yours. Keep striving, keep planting, and in due time, you'll reap the rewards you've worked for. You see, life is full of moments where we must choose how we allow others to treat us. If someone views you as an option, it's a clear sign that they've made a decision about your place in their life. But the real power rests with you. You have the choice to walk away, to leave situations where your value is not fully recognized. Think about that for a moment. Walking away is not a sign of weakness, it's an affirmation of your self-worth. You're not an afterthought, and you deserve to be treated with respect and priority. So, when you encounter people who treat you as if you're replaceable, make the decision to step away, leave them like a choice you've confidently made. As we explore this idea further, let's shift our focus to what truly holds meaning in your life. Far too often, we get wrapped up in chasing material possessions, thinking they'll bring us lasting happiness. But when you really take a step back, it's the experiences you've lived, the moments you've shared, that truly shape your life. Memories, not things, are life's real treasures. Think of the times you've laughed with friends, the adventures you've had, or even the lessons you've learned from challenging moments. These are what will stay with you, far longer than any object ever could. In the end, possessions can fade, break, or lose their appeal, but the memories you create will enrich your life forever. Now, here's something else to consider. There are people in your life who love and care about you, more than you may realize. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of approval from those who don't see your value, but that's not where your focus should be. Don't waste your energy trying to win over people who overlook you. Instead, shift your attention to the people who genuinely appreciate you. These are the individuals who see you clearly, who value you for who you are without needing to be convinced. Focusing on the right people in your life will bring you more peace and fulfillment than chasing after those who don't recognize your worth. Now, let's talk about security, something we all seek, but often misunderstand. Playing it safe can seem like the smart choice, but in reality, it's often the riskiest thing you can do. Safety, when it becomes too comfortable, can lead to stagnation. It can hold you back from growth, from exploring the potential that lies beyond your comfort zone. Taking calculated risks, stepping out into the unknown, is where you'll find true progress. Don't let fear convince you to stay where you are just because it feels familiar. Growth happens when you embrace uncertainty and move forward with courage, even when the outcome is not guaranteed. And while we're on the subject of moving forward, let's address the struggles we all face. There's a certain pressure in today's world to always appear strong, to hide your difficulties. But here's the truth, there's no shame in struggling. In fact, struggle is a sign that you're striving for something more, that you're pushing beyond where you are now. Working hard to get where you want to be is something to be proud of, not embarrassed by. Everyone faces challenges, and it's through those challenges that we grow stronger and more resilient. So, wear your struggles as a badge of honor, because they show that you're not willing to settle for less than what you deserve. At the same time, it's important to remember this, rowing harder won't help if your boat is heading in the wrong direction. Effort alone isn't enough, you need clarity. You can push yourself all you want, but if you're not heading toward a goal that truly aligns with your values, that effort will be wasted. Take the time to pause and reflect on the direction you're heading. Are you pursuing something meaningful to you, or are you simply following the path you've been on without questioning it? Don't be afraid to change course if needed. It's not failure, it's wisdom. Adjusting your direction when necessary is a sign of strength, not weakness. We all go through phases where the path ahead feels unclear. Your vision may be blurry right now, and that's okay. Just because you can't see the whole picture doesn't mean the way forward isn't there. Sometimes, we need to keep moving, even when we're unsure of the destination. Trust that with time, things will come into focus. Patience is key here. Don't rush yourself to have all the answers right now. Instead, focus on taking the next step, and trust that clarity will come as you move forward. Life is a way of revealing the right path in its own time. One of the most valuable things you can invest in is your health. We often take our bodies for granted, pushing them beyond their limits in the pursuit of success or goals. But remember this, your health is your foundation. Without it, none of your achievements or aspirations matter. Taking care of your body is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life, And if you neglect it, everything else will eventually suffer. Treat your health as another form of wealth, perhaps the most important kind, because, without it, all the material success in the world won't matter. In every aspect of life, remember this, it's not about how much time you spend on something, but about the value you bring to that time. Whether it's your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, the hours themselves don't matter as much as what you contribute within those hours. You're not being rewarded simply for showing up, you're being rewarded for the energy, focus, and passion you bring to each moment. So, focus on bringing value, not just clocking in time. The quality of your effort will always matter more than the quantity. Now, as you continue on this path of growth, let self-improvement be your primary focus. Let it keep you so engaged that you don't have time to criticize others. It's easy to fall into the trap of judging other people's choices or actions, but what does that truly achieve? Criticism of others often comes from a place of insecurity or dissatisfaction with oneself. When you're busy working on your own growth, you'll find you have less interest in what others are doing. Focus inward, on your own journey, and let that be your guide. By doing so, you'll naturally inspire others through your actions, not your words. And next, think about this for a moment. Your thoughts, when you are alone, are just as powerful as your words when you're in the presence of others. It's easy to get swept away by the noise of our own minds, but the real mastery comes when you learn to quiet that inner noise and guide it intentionally. Your mind is your strongest muscle, but it can also be your worst enemy if left unchecked. It's like a wild horse that needs to be tamed before it can take you where you want to go. Now, if you leave your mind to wander unchecked, it will drag you into places you never intended to go. That's why the training of your thoughts, especially in moments of solitude, is a practice you cannot afford to neglect. You see, what we often forget is that when we're alone, we're not truly alone. We're always in the company of our thoughts, and how we entertain those thoughts shapes the reality we live in. Guarding your mind is like setting boundaries. Just as you would protect your home from intruders, you must protect your inner world from negative, impulsive, or unnecessary distractions. When we speak of words, when you're with others, they carry the weight of your intentions. Speaking impulsively can unravel relationships, damage trust, or lead to misunderstandings. There is wisdom in holding back and choosing silence over speech, especially when emotions are running high. A word, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Guard your words as you would a precious treasure, for they have the power to build or destroy, to heal or to harm. Now, think about the power of silence. There are times in life when the best response is no response at all. Some people or situations do not deserve your energy or reaction. Cutting someone off silently doesn't mean retreating in fear or resentment. It's about choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. You do not need to justify yourself to everyone. Your actions and your calm demeanor speak volumes. Sometimes, the strongest move is to walk away without a word, to save your energy for battles that truly matter. And let's be honest here, if you are not where you want to be in life, that should be all the motivation you need to keep going. We often look for external sources of inspiration, but the reality is that your current dissatisfaction can be a powerful driver for change. Use it wisely. Let your dissatisfaction push you to work harder, to refine your discipline, to clarify your goals. Discipline, after all, is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most. It's easy to fall into the trap of instant gratification, but the true test is whether you can delay your wants today for the sake of your bigger vision tomorrow. Think about how often we share too much, too soon, with people who may not have our best interests at heart. We live in a world where oversharing is normalized, yet not everyone deserves to know your plans, your dreams, or your struggles. Some people, even those who smile in your face, might secretly be rooting for your downfall. Not everyone has the capacity to celebrate your success or to offer genuine support. Keep some things for yourself. Speak less, observe more. You've probably heard the saying that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. This truth is often underestimated. Planning and preparation are the backbone of success. Without a plan, you're at the mercy of the winds of chance. Preparation is about taking control of your destiny, putting yourself in the best possible position to succeed. Whether it's a conversation, a business venture, or even your daily routine, preparation is key. When you speak without thinking, it's like shooting without aiming. You might hit something, but it's likely not your intended target. Words are powerful, and once they leave your mouth, they can't be retrieved. Think of every conversation as an opportunity to reflect your inner values and principles. Speak with purpose, with intention. Make your words count. The journey you're on is not about following someone else's path. When you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to conform to what others are doing, remember that the most meaningful paths in life are often the ones we create for ourselves. Don't go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. Innovators, leaders, and those who truly live out their purpose often find themselves walking alone for a time. But that's okay, because you're not walking in someone else's shadow. Discipline is not just about the big moments in life, it's about the small, daily choices. It's easy to stay disciplined when everything is going well, but the real test comes when life gets tough, when things don't go as planned. That's when your discipline will either crumble or hold you steady. Choosing what you want most over what you want now is a constant battle, but it's one worth fighting every day. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they all stem from the same place, your inner world. If you want to see change in your life, if you want to move from where you are to where you want to be, it starts with mastering that inner world. Your mind must become your ally, not your enemy. Train it well, and it will take you far beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. Not every moment requires an explanation, not every person deserves your vulnerability, and not every battle is yours to fight. Guard your peace, protect your progress, and trust in the discipline you're cultivating. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say nothing at all and let your actions speak for themselves. We hope you feel the weight of these words, not as mere advice, but as a reminder that your journey is unique and filled with potential. You have the power to shape your reality, to guide your life in the direction that reflects your highest values. Guard your thoughts, choose your words carefully, and let your discipline be the foundation upon which you build your future. Something that we often overlook? When we say it's a slow process, we're speaking to the truth that real progress, the kind that matters, takes time. There's no shortcut to meaningful change or lasting success. It's easy to feel frustrated when things don't happen quickly, but ask yourself this: will quitting make it any faster? No. In fact, giving up only delays what's possible. It's a natural human instinct to want results right away, but the truth is that growth isn't something you can rush. Every small step forward, every bit of effort you invest, builds upon itself. Imagine how much further along you'd be if you just kept moving, even if it's at a slow pace. The act of persisting is where true strength is built. What comes easy won't stay with you for long, and what stays with you won't come easily. Think about that for a moment. We live in a world where instant gratification is at our fingertips, but have you noticed how the things that are easy to achieve often don't carry much value in the long run? They fade. They lose meaning. On the other hand, the things that matter most, whether it's a relationship, a career, or personal growth, take time, patience, and effort. These are the things that truly last because they are earned, not given. The difficulty of the journey is what makes the reward that much sweeter. So, when you're tempted to look for shortcuts, remind yourself that enduring value comes from effort, not ease. Now, let's address a trap that many of us fall into. We ruin a perfectly good day by obsessing over a bad one we've already lived. Yesterday's mistakes, disappointments, or even heartbreaks have a sneaky way of creeping into today's peace if we allow them to. But here's the thing: you can't change the past, no matter how much you think about it. What you can control is how you approach today. Every time you let yesterday's negativity cloud your current moment, you rob yourself of the opportunity for joy, growth, and connection. Let go of what's behind you. It served its purpose, whether that was to teach you, challenge you, or even humble you. But today? Today is fresh. It's full of potential. Now, let's talk about comparison, because it's one of the easiest ways to lose sight of your own progress. Someone else's advancement doesn't reduce your own. Think about that. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with images of other people's success, and it's easy to feel like we're falling behind. But their path is not your path. Their achievements don't invalidate what you've accomplished. Everyone moves at their own pace, And just because you aren't where someone else is, doesn't mean you're not making strides of your own. Your progress is yours alone, and it's worth celebrating, no matter how small it seems compared to others. Simplicity is often undervalued, but a small, tight-knit circle of people you trust, a private life, and a peaceful mind are treasures that money can't buy. You don't need a large group of people around you to feel validated. In fact, too many people often bring unnecessary drama and distraction. Keep your circle close, filled with those who genuinely care for you, and watch how your peace grows. The less you involve others in your personal affairs, the more tranquility you will have. Privacy isn't about being secretive, it's about maintaining control over your own narrative. And a peaceful mind? That's priceless. It's your sanctuary, and you must protect it. There's something we all need to hear about expectations. They're often the cause of our own heartbreak. We set ourselves up for disappointment when we expect things to go a certain way or people to act in ways that meet our desires. But life doesn't work that way. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is let things be. If something is meant to happen, it will. You can't force what isn't ready, and the more you try, the more you set yourself up for unnecessary pain. Trust the process. Let go of control, and watch how much lighter your heart feels when you release the need for things to go exactly as you planned. Here's another thing we often overlook: being real with yourself and others saves so much time. There's no need to pretend to be something you're not or to put on a facade for others. Authenticity isn't just about honesty, it's about living in alignment with who you truly are. When you're real, you attract the right people into your life, the ones who appreciate you for who you are, not for the version you try to present. Being real may feel vulnerable, but it also feels freeing. When you drop the mask, you save yourself the energy of maintaining a false image, and those around you get to experience the real you. But be careful whom you open up to. Not everyone deserves a window into your personal life. Some things should remain sacred, kept for those who've earned your trust. Privacy is power. It's not about hiding, it's about choosing carefully who you let into your inner world. The more you share with the wrong people, the more power you give them over you. Guard your heart, guard your dreams, and be selective about who gets to know your vulnerabilities. This isn't about being closed off, it's about being wise. And don't ever let anyone have something they can use to harm you. This goes beyond just keeping secrets, it's about maintaining boundaries. Not everyone who seems kind has your best interests at heart, and it's important to protect your peace. Whether it's emotional, mental, or even financial boundaries, don't allow anyone to cross lines that could leave you vulnerable. Protect your energy, protect your time, and protect your well-being. There's incredible strength in embracing solitude. In a world that often fears being alone, solitude is where you truly meet yourself. It's where you hear your own voice, away from the noise and influence of others. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a time of reflection, a moment of quiet where you can assess who you are and what you want without interference. It's in these quiet moments that you find clarity, strength, and resilience. Don't fear solitude, lean into it. It's in these moments of stillness that you grow the most. Here's a truth that you must hold close: never let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. You have every right to chase your dreams, to want better for yourself, and to strive for a life that fulfills you. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is projecting their own fears, insecurities, or limitations onto you. Don't take on their doubts. You are worthy of pursuing what you desire, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Stand firm in what you know you deserve. If your life is too comfortable, you'll weaken mentally over time. It's the challenges, the discomforts, the obstacles that sharpen your mind and strengthen your spirit. When everything comes easily, there's no need to stretch yourself, and without that stretch, growth stalls. Don't shy away from discomfort, it's where the real work happens. It's in these moments of pushing past your limits that you discover what you're truly capable of. Celebrate your accomplishments, yes, but be mindful not to overshare every single success. Not every victory needs to be broadcasted to the world. There's power in keeping some things close to your chest, in savoring the satisfaction of success without needing external validation. Share the moments that matter most, but understand that sometimes, the quiet victories are the sweetest. Remember, life's greatest achievements often come from the depths of hardship. It's through adversity that we are shaped, and it's in the darkest moments that we find our greatest strength. Don't fear the struggle, because within it lies your potential for greatness. Adversity isn't something to avoid, it's something to embrace. It's where the most profound transformations occur. Have you ever wondered at what point you stop holding yourself accountable, and why that moment defines so much of your future? The moment you abandon discipline is the moment you give up on yourself. Think about that. Every time you let go of that structure, that intentional focus on improvement, you're essentially telling yourself that the person you aspire to become doesn't matter. We all know that life throws obstacles in our path, but discipline isn't just about pushing through those moments, it's about defining who you are in the process. Without it, we become prisoners to our circumstances. Done is better than perfect, and this isn't just about completing tasks but about moving forward, despite the imperfections. Progress, no matter how small, is always better than stagnation. Consider the relationships in your life. Sometimes, your worst enemy is someone you trust the most. It's unsettling, isn't it? The people we trust can have the greatest influence on us, but that also means they have the potential to hurt us in ways others can't. This is why you must remain vigilant, even in relationships that feel comfortable. Beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Not everyone who seems to have your back truly does. The truth is, sometimes you'll need to protect yourself, not just from strangers, but from those who claim to know you best. Now, let's talk about self-care. There's a misconception that taking time for yourself is selfish, but self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. Think of it as maintenance for your mind, body, and spirit. Without it, everything you're trying to build can collapse under the weight of exhaustion, stress, or neglect. A balanced, fulfilling life depends on how well you take care of yourself. If you're not functioning at your best, how can you expect to handle everything that life demands of you? People will try to tell you that self-care is indulgence, but we know better. It's survival. Time, my friend, is your most precious asset. Yet, we often take it for granted until it's slipping through our fingers. Time's value becomes evident when it's gone, so use it wisely. You've heard this before, but take a moment to really understand it. Each minute, each hour that passes is a currency you will never get back. If you're not careful, you'll wake up one day realizing that you've spent it on things and people that didn't deserve it. Success comes to those who value their time, not those who waste it. Success, by the way, isn't some grand moment of victory. It's what happens after you've survived all your mistakes. Don't you see? Mistakes aren't your enemy, they're your stepping stones. Winners focus on winning, not on how many times they've fallen. Losers, on the other hand, focus on the winners, obsessing over the success of others while letting their own potential slip away. Which are you going to be? The one who learns from their missteps, or the one who lets them define failure? Before something great happens, everything may fall apart. This is life's way of testing your resolve. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is going right, but that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. One day, you'll see why God made you wait. The delays, the setbacks, the frustrations, they are all part of the bigger picture that you can't fully see yet. Trust that in those moments of chaos, there's a lesson being built into you. Patience, perseverance, perspective. These are the qualities that will carry you when everything seems to crumble. For your peace of mind, don't let people know too much about you. This isn't about building walls, it's about protecting your boundaries. People often think they have a right to know every detail of your life, but the truth is, they don't. The more they know, the more they feel entitled to comment, critique, and influence. Protecting your inner world is vital to maintaining peace. Share with those who have earned that privilege, not with everyone who simply asks. If you tell the truth, you won't have to remember anything. Lies, deceit, and half-truths are heavy burdens. Each one demands that you keep track of the false narrative you've spun. But when you speak the truth, there's freedom. You don't have to worry about who you've told what because your words are consistent. People might not always like what you have to say, but truth builds trust. And trust, in the long run, is far more valuable than approval. If someone says you can't, they're showing you their limits, not yours. We've all been told we can't do something, but that statement says more about the person speaking than it does about your potential. Don't let others define what's possible for you. Their limitations are not yours to carry. You are more capable than you even realize. Don't let small minds convince you to abandon your big dreams. If you live for people's acceptance, you'll die from their rejection. Think about that. Every time you chase approval, you give someone else the power to define your worth. And the moment they withhold that approval, you crumble. But you don't have to. Your value isn't tied to how others perceive you. True freedom comes when you can stand firm in who you are, regardless of the applause or criticism that follows. There are two types of pain, one that hurts you and one that changes you. Most people try to avoid pain altogether, but we know better. The pain that hurts may sting in the moment, but it's the pain that changes you that leads to growth. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also necessary. You won't become the person you're meant to be without experiencing some form of discomfort along the way. Be selfish with your time. Many people don't deserve it. Not everyone values your time as much as you do, and that's why you need to guard it. Just as you wouldn't hand over your money to someone who wouldn't appreciate it, don't hand over your time to those who don't respect it. It's a finite resource. Spend it wisely, on people and pursuits that are worthy of it. Sometimes, silence is the best response to someone who doesn't value your words. You don't always have to engage in every argument or explain yourself to people who aren't really listening. Silence can be your most powerful tool when someone is trying to drag you into their chaos. It's a statement in itself, one that says you're not willing to waste your energy on battles that don't matter. Fear is temporary, regret is forever. In the moment, fear can feel overwhelming, but it's fleeting. Regret, on the other hand, lingers. It haunts you. So when you're faced with a decision, ask yourself which you'd rather live with, momentary fear or lifelong regret. Most times, the thing you're afraid of isn't as terrifying as you've made it out to be. But the regret of not facing it? That stays with you. Excuses make today easier but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today hard but tomorrow easier. Think about this. Every time you make an excuse, you're choosing short-term comfort over long-term success. Discipline is the opposite, it's choosing short-term discomfort for long-term gain. The question is, which version of yourself are you willing to work for? The one who makes excuses or the one who shows up, even when it's tough? Finally, don't give up, you're closer than you think. When you're in the middle of struggle, it's easy to lose sight of how far you've come. But progress isn't always visible. Sometimes the breakthrough comes just when you're about to walk away. Stay the course. Sometimes being alone is the best medicine for your soul. In moments of solitude, we often find clarity that the noise of life drowns out. The world will always pull you in countless directions, but there's a unique strength in sitting still, letting your mind settle like the surface of a calm lake. It's in these quiet moments that we remember what truly matters, our future. Your future needs you, it calls to you with potential, opportunity, and the promise of transformation. Your past, though it shaped you, doesn't demand your attention anymore. Why cling to something that no longer serves your growth? You've been burned before, haven't you? And each time, you likely promised yourself it wouldn't happen again. Yet, the same flame draws us back if we don't learn its lesson. So don't get burned twice by the same flame. Learn, adapt, and move forward with wisdom instead of fear. Worrying about what you might lose keeps you trapped in the very defeat you dread. Worrying about losing is losing before you even begin. Why give fear that power over you? Life is meant to be lived with boldness, not hesitation. We all fall, we break, and we fail. It's part of the human experience. And while it may feel like failure defines you, it's actually the rising afterward that shapes who you truly are. You rise, you heal, and you overcome, not because the world gives you permission, but because your soul demands it. Every setback is merely the prelude to a comeback. This is the pattern of life, one we must embrace rather than resist. Each scar, each mistake, each stumble is a stepping stone towards becoming someone stronger, someone wiser. Sacrifice is never easy, but it is essential. Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom. How often do we give up long-term peace for short-term pleasure? The Stoic in you knows that lasting fulfillment comes from enduring hardship, from having the discipline to say no to immediate gratifications that won't serve your higher purpose. The world promises many fleeting comforts, but true freedom is reserved for those who have the patience to endure, to hold out for something greater. Patience is your ally in this journey. Remember, all things are difficult before they become easy. Growth is not supposed to be comfortable, it's supposed to challenge you, stretch you beyond what you think you can handle. If everything came easily, you wouldn't appreciate the strength you've built. Hardship is not something to fear but to embrace. It is the grindstone that sharpens you, the fire that forges you. Hardship often prepares ordinary people for extraordinary destinies. Now think about the power of your mind. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking ever will. It's not about being blind to reality, but choosing to focus on what empowers you rather than what drains you. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. What you dwell on, you become. So why waste time on negativity when you have the power to shape your world through positivity and determination? The only real mistake is the one from which you learn nothing. Mistakes are inevitable, what matters is whether you take something from them. Each error is a lesson in disguise, and each lesson learned is a tool for your future. Don't fear mistakes, for they are part of your path. But do fear stagnation, the refusal to grow, the resistance to learning. That's the only real failure. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. You can't change the past, but you can change how much power it holds over you. Regret is heavy baggage, and it serves no one. Your energy belongs to the present moment, where you have control and influence. Yesterday has nothing new to say, but today? Today is full of potential. Today is where your real power lies. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. There's wisdom in knowing when to pause, to gather your strength without giving up on your goals. It's okay to take a break, to breathe, to reset. But remember, quitting is permanent. Rest is temporary. Success requires persistence, not constant motion. Rest when you need to, but don't mistake a moment of exhaustion for a reason to give up on your dreams. There are two most important days in your life, the day you were born and the day you find out why. Your purpose is your compass, guiding you through the storms and challenges. When you know your why, everything else falls into place. Challenges become opportunities, obstacles become lessons, and every moment of your life gains meaning. The day you discover your purpose is the day life truly begins. Your past is not a place to live. It's a place to learn, to reflect, but not to dwell. Too many people allow their past to become a prison, shackling them to old failures, regrets, or losses. But you're different. You understand that the past is there to teach, not to haunt. The future is where you belong. So, don't rush the process of healing and growth, trust it. Great things take time. This is a truth we must remind ourselves of daily. There is no fast track to greatness, no shortcut to becoming who you are meant to be. The Stoics knew this, and so must you. Trust the process, even when it's hard, even when it's slow. Patience is a virtue, not because it's passive, but because it's powerful. It allows you to endure, to hold out for what is truly worth the wait. You've been through so much already, and look at how far you've come. You are resilient. You are capable of rising, healing, and overcoming again and again. The path may be long, but it is yours, and it is leading you to a destiny greater than you can imagine. Don't be afraid to walk it. You're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. So, let go of yesterday. Embrace today. And walk into tomorrow with confidence, knowing that every step you take is a step toward the extraordinary life that awaits you.